The Chicago Bears have signed another player. It is tight end James O'Shaughnessy. We'll break down that news in a second, and that is why you guys should subscribe to the channel, because when the Bears make a move, we have you guys covered. Hit that big red button. Plus, round of applause to all of you who have subscribed. We crossed 46,000 subscribers this weekend. Want to give you guys a shout out for that. But if you haven't already, hit that sub button. News, rumors, other videos every single day. Plus, the draft is almost here, so our draft coverage is ramping up. Hit that sub button, and let's break down this news. Today's Bears breaking news is powered by Manscaped. Appreciate those guys for sponsoring today's show. If you want the best men's grooming products here on the planet, check out Manscaped. 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use our promo code for you Bears fans. It's Bears20. That's Bears20 at manscaped.com when you check out. All right, James O'Shaughnessy is a Chicago Bear. He has signed a one-year deal to join the historic franchise in Chicago. And we kind of thought this could happen after he made a recent visit. Bears broke the news themselves before Schefter and the boys jumped onward. Afterwards, we have signed James O'Shaughnessy to a one-year contract. Welcome home, J. O'Shaughnessy 80, because he's actually from Naperville, obviously there near Chicago. I mentioned a second ago he visited Hallis Hall last week, so we thought this could be a possibility that the Bears would add another veteran to their tight end room behind Cole Kmet after adding Ryan Griffin a couple of weeks ago. So now you've got two quality veteran tight ends behind Kmet. We'll kind of talk about how these guys fit in and what that means moving forward. But first, what is your one-word reaction to the Bears signing another tight end? Let me know down in the comments section your one-word reaction to the Bears signing James O'Shaughnessy. Believe it or not, this actually makes sense, and I can already see the DMs now. I haven't been able to check because I've been fast-tracking this video of why do the Bears always need 8 tight ends, 10 tight ends, yada, yada, yada. You know, you guys have been hitting me with that for years, and obviously that's been true in the past. But the reality is you actually only have 4 tight ends right now with the James O'Shaughnessy signing. You look at the depth chart, I think it'll play out like this. Cole Kmet's going to be your starter. I think Ryan Griffin will be your backup, but I think tight end 2 and 3 could be flexible with him and O'Shaughnessy. I think, O'Shaughnessy a little bit better of a blocker perhaps. Jesper Horsted still on the roster. We'll see, how they utilize him. He's got that receiver background. He's not going to give you much as a blocker, so maybe, Poles and this staff view him as more of a hybrid project type that can stretch the field but isn't necessarily a true tight end with his inexperience as a blocker. But I think this is a needed signing and an important one because now you go into the draft and you really don't have to worry about tight end at all. I mean, you probably shouldn't draft a tight end unless there's just one you love in the 5th or 6th round. You feel like the value is too good. Sure, go ahead and, draft that player. But you enter this draft now, and that's scratch through it. That's another position you don't have to worry about. You do not need to draft a tight end. Sure, you could probably pick one more up as an undrafted free agent for training camp and to fill out the 90-man roster, but 4 tight ends, you're in a good spot, and these 4 guys may all make the 53-man roster. Now, who will be tight end 2? I think we're all very confident that Cole Kmet's going to be the starter. He still needs to make strides, but I think he has earned that opportunity. Who's going to be the backup, though? Type RG for Ryan Griffin. That's who I think it'll be. Type JO for James O'Shaughnessy. Type JH for Jesper Horsted, who we all have high hopes for, but is still somewhat unproven. Let us know who's going to be tight end 2 this year. What I like is about this move and about the Griffin signing as well, depth and competition behind Kmet. I don't think either of these two guys, or even Horsted, enter the offseason workouts and training camp and yada, 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 as a clear backup. I think these guys will come in and compete, and I think that's what Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus want, setting this culture is competition. Like, obviously there's certain guys that don't, have to compete at the highest level. Like Roquan Smith isn't going to get unseated by another player. But behind Cole Kmet, Ryan Griffin, James O'Shaughnessy, 2 veteran guys who have, done some good things in this league. It'll be fun to see these guys come in here and see who kind of earns that number 2 tight end role. Griffin's had a little bit more success. He's also been around longer, 14 touchdowns, over 2,100 yards in his career, which is 119 games. O'Shaughnessy in 80 games has 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns. I will say about O'Shaughnessy, last last year, only played in 7 games, had like 250 yards for the Jags. You average that out over a 17-game season, he gives you like 600 yards. So he was actually on pace to have one of the best years of his career. What I would call Ryan Griffin and James O'Shaughnessy is they're professionals. These are what I like to call professional tight ends. And you need these type of players on your roster. Guys that are going to fill out the 53, they know their role, and they're going to play hard. That's what these guys are going to do. They're pros, they're vets, they've been around. You don't stick around in the NFL for 5+ seasons by accident. It does not happen. That's why the average NFL career, I believe, is 3.5 years, because guys just get phased out of the league. These guys have been around, and they will play a role on this football team. We'll talk a little bit more about the signing, plus a couple of other things in just a moment. But I want to shout out Manscaped, the Ultra Premium Collection. You got the body wash. You got the shampoo and conditioner bottle. This stuff is awesome. This is a 5-product collection from Manscaped that you guys can get for 20% off and free shipping, $39.99 at manscaped.com. Promo code BEARS20. It comes with the shampoo and conditioner bottle. You got the body wash as well. I've also got the body spray, which, hey, after a quick workout, if you don't have time to sneak in a shower, put some of this stuff on, it's going to take care of you. The deodorant is fantastic as well. Plus, a little bonus of this collection, you get 3 little tubes of lip balm that uses natural ingredients. It's absolutely fantastic. Promo code BEARS20, $39.99 for this full set. I used the shampoo and conditioner and body wash this morning, feeling nice and fresh after I was, on the DL this week and been battling illness, but feeling a lot better, smelling a lot better thanks to Manscaped. Manscaped.com, check out their men's grooming products beyond the Ultra Premium Collection as well, and use promo code BEARS20. All right, so James O'Shaughnessy has signed, and like I said, tight end, you're in a good spot. You don't have to worry about that come to the draft. So I wanted to kind of go a little rapid fire here. Top Bears draft needs at this point. Offensive line still is priority number 1, in my opinion. You still need probably at least 2 offensive linemen. Your surefire starters right now, Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair. Tevin Jenkins, I want to say, I'll count him as a for sure starter, but is Larry Borum going to start? You don't have another guard. I don't think Dakota Dozier's going to start. You need at least 1, but probably 2 offensive linemen, whether it's through free agency or the draft. Wide receiver is a close, 1B, I would say, but O-line is still a bigger need. I like a couple of the pieces the Bears have. I obviously love Darnell Mooney. We'll see if he can ascend into a wide receiver 1 in this league. I think he's for sure a wide receiver 2. Byron Pringle, I like the addition, but he's more of a number 3, and right now he'd be your number 2. Same with Equinemius St. Brown, more of a number 4, number 5. Right now he's penciled in as a number 3. We'll see if Daz Newsome gives you anything in year 2, but you need 1 to 2 more pieces at this position. I expect the Bears to spend a high draft pick both on an offensive lineman and a wide receiver. Now, what is the bigger need? You're in charge. You're Ryan Poles. Right now, as we sit today, bigger need for the Bears. OL, WR, get your votes in, offensive line or wide receiver. What is the bigger need for Chicago? I think a pretty clear third need, but it is a third need, is cornerback. I like the Tavon Young addition. I think he'll start at nickel. I love Jalen Johnson. You're good there. But you need another outside corner. You need a CB2. In a perfect world, Thomas Graham's that, but we just haven't seen him enough. I don't know if he's the answer there. I don't think Kendall Vilder's the answer there. If those guys want to compete and prove me wrong, I'm perfectly fine with that, especially Vilder. I'm not a Kendall Vilder believer. I think Thomas Graham has some ability, but I don't think you can just enter camp like, yeah, Thomas Graham, he'll be CB2. That's what the last regime did. They're like, oh, Kendall Vilder, we'll be fine. We'll sign Desmond Trufant and then cut him because he's washed / he had to miss some time due to a personal situation. Either way, last year they cut Kyle Fuller, didn't fill that need or that spot. That spot still hasn't been filled. So, whether you draft one, whether you sign one after the draft or before the draft, you need a CB2 opposite of Jalen Johnson. Defensive tackle. Listen, there's a reason the biggest contract the Bears verbally agreed to was to 3-tech defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi of 3 years and $40.5 million. That contract obviously fell through. They signed Justin Jones, who will help, but we know the value of the 3-tech defensive tackle in this defense. That contract showed us that. Now, again, that Ogunjobi's not on board. He's not coming. At least it doesn't appear at this point in time. So don't be surprised if the Bears draft a defensive tackle, maybe even on day 2 with one of those second or third round picks. Ideally, you would wait until day 3, but I do think it's a position that they value. And then strong safety. Look, I like the bringing back DeAndre Houston-Carson is kind of a rotation safety. Dane Cruikshank can lay the wood. He can give you some snaps, but I think he's more of a safety 3. I would like to add someone next to Eddie Jackson, a true box safety that can play every down. Let Eddie Jackson roam, play center field. I think that's where he's at his best. You don't want him in the box anyway. He's not a good tackler. Get someone in here. There's some guys, I think, in the 4th or 5th round that you could target. Obviously, no 4th-round pick, but maybe you trade down on day 2, pick up an extra pick there and draft somebody. JT Woods out of Baylor is a guy I like. I think I would like to get a true box safety that you could play next to Eddie Jackson. Will the Bears sign another player before the draft? James O'Shaughnessy on board today. Will we see another one? We got, 10 days until draft day? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let us know down in the comments. And just to circle back to the news, James O'Shaughnessy, the veteran tight end, is on board. 1-year contract. We haven't seen the money. I would assume it's a vet minimum deal. Maybe it's $2 million, $2.5 million. Ryan Griffin got 2.25, so I doubt it would be much more, if more than that at all. I'm thinking 1 year, $2 million, somewhere in that range. All right, appreciate you guys for tuning in, and thanks again for 46,000 subscribers. The road to 50K is here, so help us get there. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, live show tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central. We're going to do a fan-led mock draft where you guys get to make the picks if you join us live. So subscribe and join us, and we will see you then here on Bears Now.